So the chap that got me back into Land Rovers many moons ago now, because when I was very young I had a couple, he has also recently just got back into Land Rovers, and we picked up this County Station Wagon 110 with a 200 in a few months back now probably, and he's just got round to making a start on it. So he invited me around the other evening and we got it inside and got cracking on taking it apart. He has a mare chassis, got it ordered from Poland, and that turned up and it looks very, very nice. He's T-washed it and chassis black painted it. He's just waiting on his stainless steel bulkhead. So I've just whipped this couple of clips in here just of us getting it inside. But yeah, looking forward to the progress on this. He has done more since I left him. We got the doors off, got the bonnet off, the front grille off. He's since got the roof off. Maybe I can insert the picture here. So yeah, so I just thought I'd put this in here and maybe I'd update you as he and maybe myself, if I help out some more, get further along, just as a little side video as well, just in with all my other Defender stuff. So he's got a lovely workshop, all built himself. Very jealous of the home space he has, but there we go, hard work pays off. So I'll update you on this as and when I can. Well, whilst we're waiting for gearboxes, we might as well tick off a few little jobs. Now, something I've been meaning to do for ages is these brake lines. I bought these from eBay as a fit and forget system. The right length, all the right ends on, for an early Defender 90. Well, this one goes over there. I've had to put a massive loop back on itself to go over the tunnel to come back here to this one. Terrible. I don't know whether I got sent the wrong ones, whether I've routed them wrong, whether, I don't know. So that needs replacing. Also, this front one, again, has to go down, back on itself down there, curve round and then come down to this. So while I've got nothing in the way, I am going to change them. The one that goes to the rear, I think is okay. It's not very nice, as in it's not nicely shaped, but it fits. I might secure it a bit better, give it a clean up, check it while I've got the room. So I'm just waiting for the reel of brake pipe to come along and then I will change them. I'm just draining out the brake fluid. I thought I'd get it running out and draining now, so at least that way, once the brake pipe turns up, I can do it without getting brake fluid everywhere. So that's another job to do today. And there's the new ones run. I've done them a bit tighter. I've got to get some correct brake hose P-clips because them ones are far too big. Them cable ties were just there while I was bending it. I can cut them off. So then that one comes up with the rear one and stays tight. And that one comes down back along, over to the chassis and then over up here. So a lot shorter than the last ones. Obviously not perfectly straight, but perfectly adequate. So next job I need to get on with now, I don't know actually. I think probably the clutch. Let me show you that. Right, well you joined me from the kitchen for a delivery. Can you guess what it is yet? Right, so let's see what we got. We have a new clutch push rod, a clutch alignment tool, the helper spring for the pedal, the retaining spring or retaining clip for the fork, the new bush for the gearbox. We've got a nice new heavy duty thrust bearing. They even send you a flywheel locking tool so you can do up the bolts properly without it spinning, so that's brilliant. Got a new clutch fork in there. This, I believe, will be the rear oil seal on the crank. Yes, there we go. So that's nice. Get one of those as well while it's off. Now, those of you that don't know, the TD5 is a dual mass flywheel. So on a normal clutch, you have the springs on the clutch plates take up the slop or take up the harshness of engaging the clutch, where in the dual mass flywheel, the springs are in the flywheel and that moves and the clutch plate is solid. Very expensive to replace, and obviously it's quite expensive each time you need to do a clutch. I know it's a few years apart, but still. So this is the LOF solid mass flywheel conversion. In Powerspec, they do 3 specs. They do normal road, which is I think rated up to about 180 horsepower. Powerspec up to 200, and then they do extreme, which is above and beyond. I've gone for power because I don't think I'm going to get over 200 horsepower, and I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of, you know, full throttle clutch drops, etc. So yeah, I've gone with that. So that's going to be our clutch plate in there, friction plate, and that is our cover plate. God, this is heavy. Oh, we've got some instructions here. Torque settings, tells you to use thread lock, clean crank face, etc, etc. And then this is going to be the weight. This is the heavy part. There's the bolts, and more bolts. So that'll be for the clutch plate cover and for the flywheel itself. Now, as you can see, well, I'm not even going to try and lift it to show you because it's bloody heavy, but it is the same weight as the dual mass flywheel. Apparently that keeps everything feeling as it should, and the benefit of this is once you put this solid mass flywheel on, in the future, all you've got to do is just change the clutch itself. Whereas when you do a dual mass flywheel, 9 times out of 10, the clutch and the flywheel go at the same time. So you've got to replace the whole lot, so it's really expensive. So doing this first, then in the future we need to just change the clutch, we can just change the clutch. So that is the solid, and it is solid, flywheel. Right, so if you do a lot of Googling, there's so many good reviews about LOF. It was a no-brainer really. Going by what everyone said, they had to be the people to call to get me sorted on this. So they're not cheap, but they are cheaper than a dual mass flywheel replacement every year, and apparently it's a fit and forget. So that is what you get in the box. I suppose we better get to work and fit it. So I'm going to put it all back in the box and take it to work. Right, so on with preparing the engine. I am going to remove the aircon pump and the ACE pump because we no longer need those. So I'll get them stripped off. We've obviously got the aircon pipes there, they can come out of the way. Then that's bolted on the top, and then that one is bolted on the side. So I'll quickly whip those off now. Right, so that's the ACE pump and the aircon pump off. We have removed the EGR. I did have an EGR replacement pipe on the shelf, but not the blanking plate for the manifold. So I'm just going to make one now. I've got the EGR there, just drawn around it. So I'm going to cut that out and then bolt it to the engine. So once that's done, I think it is then time to move on to fitting the LOF clutch. So be back shortly. There we go. Bit of metal, draw around it, drill it, cut it, bit of exhaust paste, job's a good one. So we've now got no EGR, so that's less pipe work, less bits on the engine, which is good. I'm hoping I might be able to get a second alternator mount there or something, because at the minute, obviously in the 300 I had 2 alternators, but not here. So I think it's clutch time now. Right, so this is the original clutch and dual mass flywheel. So we'll see how much play's in it. Quite a lot of play. I don't believe there should be anywhere near that much, and also we've got a lot of in and out play as well. So this is definitely kaplunked. So we'll whip the clutch plate cover off and then see what we got behind. So it turns out you've got to take the sump off to change the output crank oil seal, sorry. I mean, we need to do an oil change and clean it all up anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So just draining the oil, as you can see, and then I'll pull the sump off, clean it all up, maybe properly clean it up and give it a coat of paint. Nice bit of silver, so at least we can see if there's any leaks, and then I will put the seal on and then put the sump back on. Right, sump's off, as you can see, but also the oil pickup pipe, I knocked it as it come off, so the gauze and the cap has come off. So I might see if I can get another new one of those just to be sure. I don't want to clip that back on and the clips are damaged and it falls off and all that malarkey. So yes, what I should have done really is taken the turbo pipe off of the actual turbo, not the sump, because that's what, and while I was sort of pulling that aside, I knocked that. So let that be a lesson to you. So I need to clean that up and put the new oil seal on. Wait for the new oil pan sump gasket to come. I'll have a quick look about these pickup pipes, see if they're available, and then we'll move on from there. I've just ordered the centrifugal oil filter and the normal oil filter as well. So right, moving on. Right, well, we've given the sump a good clean. Brake cleaner, engine degreaser, brake cleaner, water, brake cleaner. Keep cleaning it. We've got the hairdryer inside now, just getting it a little bit warm. We've warmed the can up, so we'll give it a little tickle of VHT silver just to keep it nice, and we should be able to see if there's any leaks going forward. And then once that's done and dry, we'll clean up the inside. Well, I've cleaned up the inside, but just wipe it all out, clean off the mating face, and then it'll be ready to go back on. So let's get some paint on it. There we go. She's looking bling. A couple of coats of VHT silver. Oh, I'll get out the shadow. There you go. So that's a lot nicer to go back on. So we'll let that dry off. We'll have a cup of tea, and then we'll flip it over, put it on some cardboard, and clean up the mating face. Right, there we go. I've cleaned the inside out. I've gone over the mating face with a bit of 2000 just to make it really nice and shiny and smooth. So we're just still waiting for the sump gasket to arrive. So let's find something else we can do in the meantime and leave that here. Another problem with the TD5 is the oil pump bolt. These quite often undo themselves and obviously stop oil pumping around the engine and then rattle around the sump. I've had one go in my first TD5. In fact, it was recovered to this workshop when I first moved in. It was one of the first vehicles in here, so it was quite a while ago. Early on, they didn't come with any Loctite on. Now, I'm guessing this one's been rectified by now, but I am going to undo that very carefully. Clean it all out, put a load of Loctite on and bolt it back on. Just to be on the safe side, it'd be silly not to make sure it's good by the time, with the engine all stripped down this far. So I'm going to do that now. So yeah, 10 mil, undo it, clean the threads, clean up inside, and then Loctite it and put it back on. I've just put a cable tie around it all just to hold it there. I've put a load of brake cleaner in there, blown it out with the airline. There was no thread lock on my bolt. So I'm going to clean that up, get it nice and clean, wire brush it, and then put that thread lock on, which has just been delivered. So high strength stuff, and then put it back in, and then I need to double check, but I think it's 25 Newton meters. Right, well, the sump's on. It's all torqued up. I've just got to put the return pipe back on there and change that gasket. And we're all good. I'll follow the torque procedure. I'll include that here. And that's the order to tighten them up in. So next, I'm going to clean this face up, and then we'll put the flywheel and clutch on. The new crankshaft oil seals in. It comes with that yellow guide. You basically push it tight up against it and then push this on so it slides over the top and the yellow bit falls out. Just keeps the seal in the right place. Just give this a little coat of oil first just to ease it on. Sorry, we've got some foreigners coming through on the CB today. So yeah, that has a seal behind it, but I just run a small bead of RTV behind it as well, just to be sure. So, right, let's get the flywheel on. That's knackered. Okay, we've got the LOF clutch kit on. There it is. So it comes with the, as you saw before, it comes with the clutch alignment pin. So that's the result. I've got to take off the flywheel locking tool. I have changed the oil filter. I've changed the centrifugal one in there. I've just got to go round, really. I probably zoomed in too far. I've just got to go around really and give it a good spruce up. So the sump's all done. That's all down there, that's all clean. So we'll just go around and clean a few more bits up. I've got the start motor off, I'll clean all that up. I'll probably have to do a water pump, I think, or I'm gonna, not have to, but you should do really. But look, you can see it's got some crystallised coolant around it. So I'm gonna change that. Yeah, other than that, I think we're all right. So I'll leave this one here. Big shout out to Luke at LOF. No, I didn't get it for free. No, I didn't get any discount. But when I had trouble ordering it, he rang me personally and sorted it all out. So massive thanks to him. This is the second kit I've used. The first kit was on that Discovery 2 that I done a Gale chassis on. And that was a great clutch to use according to the person I done it for. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you very soon in the next installment, which will be when the gearboxes arrive. So I'll see you then. Cheers guys.